Hey guys, what's up? I hope all of you are doing pretty well, and welcome to the video number 282. In this video, as you can see, I'm going to actually talk about how to pass in the parameters from a macro to a function. Absolutely going to be a very advanced level video. You got to have a very good understanding that what are the macros, what are the functions. And if you're watching the channel for the first time, then guys, we have uploaded 282, including this one, the amazing videos on the Excel VBA, MS Access and Access VBA. So recently I received, you can see that, I mean, these are all the different different playlists I have created for you. So it has a mixture of, all the basic and advanced videos. So if you're new to the Excel, if you're new to the Excel VBA, Access VBA, whatever, just find out the playlist from where you want to start, and this way we can do it, right? So this video actually I actually got a question from somebody recently. I was actually attending a seminar, and there I was actually I was asked this question that this is something people really find it very difficult, that how actually we can pass in the parameters from one, from a macro to the function. So basically they want to get the understanding on that. So this video is, I'm going to upload this and I'm going to educate you about how you can use the macro with the function, right? So I have prepared some, a dummy data, and I will explain you this, guys, that how we can use a subroutine with the function, how we can call the the function from the subroutine, and how we can pass in the parameters. Okay, so in this video, as you can see, I have a first name, last name separated by the hyphen, right? We have Andy, we have Cheryl J, and the first name and the last name both are separated by the hyphen. Now what we actually want to do is just for the for example, to give you the understanding from the understanding perspective, I want to get here all the first name like this. Okay, I want to get all these first name using, of course, a macro, right? Now there are a number of ways of doing it. You can also simply use the Excel function, you can also make a macro, you can also write a function. There are inbuilt functions as well, but I'm going to actually because I want to give you the understanding how we can call the function from the the macro, we will understand it in this way. I'm not going to discuss any other thing, right? There are different ways of doing this kind of a exercise. All right, so now guys, what we want to do is so first of all, I will simply write a macro. Okay, give it any name. So let's say I'm gonna give it a name called macro1. Well, that's a very it's not really a good name. I mean, I always suggest you guys, if you have seen my videos, and always give it a good name, right? But because I'm just want to explain you, so I'm just writing it macro1, but you should write a good name. Now what actually we need to do, you see, I will create a function also here. Okay, function, this is what exactly I'm talking about. So let me give it a name called Ajay. All right, so this is my function, and for the time being, I mean, it will have the parameters as well. Now what we need to do is, parameters means which I can write it inside this. Now if you don't have any idea about the Excel VBA functions, you really don't have any idea, or maybe you want to learn more, that what are the principles, what are the basics, when you write the functions you're supposed to take care, what all things you're supposed to know. So guys, no worries, pause the video and go to here, Excel VBA function. When you click on this Excel VBA function, you will see here around 13 videos. So you just find it out the video here which says the basic. Yeah, that's the one, video number 248, basics of VBA function. First you go through this video, because here I have talked about that when you work on the functions, how you actually start with the VBA functions, how you write it, your own functions, user defined functions, right? Because I'm not going to cover the same thing here in this video. Okay, now what we want to do is, as I said, that we want to have all these names coming here. The first name basically we want to expect. So I'm going to actually run a loop, okay, which is a collection loop for each cell in a range. Now again, I'm telling you, this is advanced level video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, which means the collection loops, no worries, again pause the video and go to here, find out there is a playlist called Excel VBA collection loops, right? Like you have here Excel VBA loops, there is an Excel VBA collection loops as well here. If you scroll it down, let me see if, yeah, that's the one, guys. Just click on this Excel VBA collection loops, and you can see that basic understanding of collection loop, series 1, series 2, series 3. So these are the must watch videos for you. They will tell you that what exactly I'm talking about, right? So I'm right now simply going to use the collection loop. So my idea is we will run the loop on every cell one by one. We will go, and so this is what I'm talking about. So this is how we write. Let me quickly write it. I will declare one variable called my cell as range, and then I will write for each. This is the ready-made syntax. In my cell is of course your object in range, and the range is A1 to A6. Okay, next. Now if I run this, you see what will happen. Let me get the message box here. Right now I'm not going to call any function, but first of all let me quickly show you what exactly going to happen here. So you see that this myCell.value is coming. Now myCell can be anything. You can write whatever you want, right? So myCell is not a VBA word, but the moment you declare it as a range class, it is going to act as a VBA word. So this means that in this range A1 to A6, it will go to every cell one by one. So you can see here I have got all the names one by one. Andy, Cheryl, Jay, Mahmood, and that's it. The loop is finished, right? So every time it runs, what we need to do, I don't need this and I don't need this as well. What I actually want to do is I want to actually call my function, which I have written with the name of Ajay. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to write here Ajay function. You write the Ajay function, or you can write here call word to call the function, and then you have to give the range or the value what you want to pass in. Okay, I want to pass in the first time Ajay hyphen Parmar. How it is going to come? Using myCell.value, because this is going to give me the the value of Ajay. One by one it will it will one by one reach to the every cell. Okay, and once it reaches that value, immediately we would like to pick up that value and we would like to pass in that value in this function. So here I'm going to declare anything. You can declare A as, let's say, string or variant, whatever, right? Right now it's a string because we have the text, so you can write it here as a string as well. Okay, now what is the next thing I actually want to do here? I guess we are fine with this. First of all, let us run this and let us see if we can actually get this. So I'm going to run this. So what is the value in this myCell.value? You see that it's Ajay hyphen Parmar. So the moment it goes to this function and I hover my mouse on the A, you see that surprisingly your A is going to have the same value. So guys, what does that mean? Why it is coming here Ajay hyphen Parmar? The reason is very simple, because you're calling this function here. So when you say call Ajay, it will find it out where is that function, and obviously you will have to provide the parameter here, because here also you have a parameter. Now for example, if I don't write it here anything and I keep it like blank, right? So you are using a function without any parameter, which is wrong. So the moment I run this, it says wrong number of arguments, because this function has one argument. Argument is what? It's a parameter. When you work in the Excel, how do you work? Tell me. You write the mid function like this. What is this? These are called the arguments. These are called the parameters, right? When you write the VLOOKUP, let me start with the VLOOKUP, because VLOOKUP is something very common formula. What are all these things? Do you see any Excel formula which comes without these parameters? I don't think so, right? The function always requires the parameters, the input, right? So the same way we have to provide it. So if you are writing here the myCell.value, which means that there is some value which would come, we will have to pass in. So that's why I'm using here A as string, A, B, C, whatever you want to write, right? Now what is the next thing you want to do? Now in the functions, the next thing which I want to do, I will write the function name, right? I have talked about this in my the basic videos on the Excel VBA functions, which I was just sharing it with you a little while back. So go ahead and watch that. So this is how we write the function Ajay equals to. Now what actually it equals to? Now before I write this program in the VBA, I want to tell you one thing, what exactly I'm going to do. In Excel, if you want to get this Ajay Vikas, how you get that? First of all, you use the find function. If you don't know the find function, please go ahead and watch my videos under this playlist called Excel text functions. There I have talked about this find, mid, left, right, everything, right? They are remarkable, very good videos. So what I want to do, I want to find hyphen within this text. Okay, and what is the starting number? This is my starting number. So you see that the moment I drag this, I get to see all the positions of the hyphen. Now using this position hyphen, I use the left function and I go in this text and I say that number of characters, how many characters I want, this minus 1, right? Because when you subtract 1 from 5, it means that you're actually going to extract all the, the characters which comes before the position hyphen, right? Very simple, right? So again, I'm not going to talk about these functions here because this is an advanced level video, and if you want to have a look on these functions individually, I told you that go to the playlist called Excel VBA text functions. You will understand about the mid, left, right, and there are some good exercises as well, right? From the not just the basic videos, but we have some advanced videos as well there. Okay, so now this is the same principle I want to apply here. So what I will do, the first thing which I will do, I will simply write the left function. I'm going to combine the functions together like in this way. I say left, start from the left, the text is this, how many characters I want, I don't know, because every first name has a different number of characters, but one thing is sure, that every first name comes before the hyphen. So I will find the hyphen here, how many characters I want, I go in, I find the hyphen. This is how we write, find text, within this text how many, start number has to be 1, and then I'm going to subtract minus 1 from it. So this is a single formula, the complex formula. You don't have to write these two steps, you can delete it. This is the simple function. This is what exactly I'm going to use in the VBA directly, right? So if I take you to the formula, just to explain you evaluate formula, this is how you can evaluate the formula. You can do the postmortem of the formula step by step also, right guys? So you see underline item is A1, which is going to be executed. In the A1 I have Ajay hyphen Pamar. So when you click on the evaluate, this is what you get. Now what is the next thing? Now the find function will be executed. Find hyphen in the A1. A1 is Ajay hyphen Pamar. So this now hyphen is going to be, find is going to find out this hyphen in this Ajay hyphen Pamar text, and the position will be returned for the hyphen, which is going to be 5. So once you have the 5, it will be further subtracted with 1 and you will have 4. So now actually the formula is, VBA will read, Excel will read this function as left, start from the left of Ajay hyphen Pamar and get me the 4 characters. So AJAY would come, and this is how the things are happening. So in the same way, I'm gonna go here in the VBA, and in the VBA I'm going to write the same function. So Ajay equals to, I'll start with the worksheet function class, because the left is a maybe left is not a part of worksheet function. I think it's a part of a strings left. Yeah. So you write the left. Now string, what is the string, right? Now what would be the string, guys? The string would be whatever the value you have in A. Because A is what? A is gonna get the value from this parameter, mycell dot value, and this is how you're exchanging the information. You're passing in the value from the macro, from the sub to this function. This is really cool, right? So you write here the string. String means that go in the A. A is what? Ajay hyphen Pamar. It would be, right? And then the length. How many characters do you want? As I said, you use the find function. What do you need to find? Hyphen. And in which text? Obviously in A. And starting is 1, and then you will subtract 1 from it, right? So this is how your function will have the value. Now once your function will have the value, you got to come back to this, and you got to print the value here. This is also very important, right? Now guys, one thing which I want to tell you, see what happens when I run this program. You see, for each cell, my cell in range A1 to A6. So we have specified the range A1 to A6. So that means the first cell which would come here is going to be A1, right? So now what is the value in the A1? Sub or function not defined. All right. So this find function is not defined because of the reason you got to use worksheet function class dot find. Yeah, right, because find is a part of worksheet function. Let me rerun this again. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this. There we go. Now you see what value we have, Ajay hyphen Pamar. This value is coming here. Very nice. Now once you run this, see what would be the answer. Type mismatch. So we are getting the type mismatch. Oh, okay. Now this is again a very interesting. We are getting the type mismatch. Now I have uploaded a video, I think 2 weeks back, where I have talked about crack your VBA interview. That the questions. There were 2 questions. When do you get the type mismatch? When do you get the overflow? If you don't have any idea about it, if you are preparing for the Excel VBA interviews, Excel VBA interviews, please go ahead and watch that video. You will find that video under the playlist Excel VBA Access Interview. Now same thing is coming here, type mismatch. So why the type mismatch? Because of the reason that when you are going to extract the Ajay, this function, basically it will give you what? It will give you Ajay and Vikas, Andy, Cheryl, Jay, and they are all text, they are strings. So you cannot declare your function as long. You got to write here strings, because the function output would be a text. Okay, now let me run the function again. Automation type not supported in Visual Basic as string. I'm so sorry, it's not actually strings, it's string. Okay, there we go. So now we have everything here. We have A. So now this A, as you can see here, it is going to extract the left. How many left items from the left? Obviously 4. So the moment I run this, you get to see here Ajay, right? Now if I go back again F8, it comes back to the original macro. Now it has to go to the A2, because you have said for each cell in the range A1 to A6, so it will have to go one by one to all the cells, right? So now the next value would be, we can see here, it's Vikas hyphen Srivastav. Perfect, guys. So now again we have a value here Vikas, you can see here, right? It is splitting, this function is doing all that stuff. Again, next, what is the next? Next is A3, which is Andy hyphen Mood. So in this way, guys, this function will keep on running. As you can see here, I have all the values coming here. Now the last value is Mahmood hyphen Aslam, and there we go. And once we have this value called Mahmood, the macro will stop. Now it should not go to again to the call function, because we have covered all A1 to A6, and there we go, guys. The macro is finished. But what about the printing? Now this is fine, this is running, but we want to print the values here, right? So what I will do here is, I will print the value. Once I have the value in the Ajay, I would like to go ahead and say that cells, in the cells, what is the row number? Now the row number would be same. If I'm actually extracting Ajay hyphen Parmar, if I'm using this the value, then obviously I would like to print Ajay in front of that. So the row number would be same. So how are you gonna get the row number? Using this my cell dot. Now you see my cell dot is not coming here, right? Because of the reason that my cell actually is a part of this macro. It's a local variable. I have just covered a video on this. If you want to understand more about this, then please go ahead and watch the video Excel VBA introduction series, right? Here we have the playlist Excel VBA introduction series. Yes, now here I talked about this video, life of a variable, video number 281. I've talked about this. So if you have watched this video, this video which you're watching now is gonna make a lot of sense to you. Now actually the thing is, this my cell is limited to this macro. It's a local variable, so we have to change we have to make it a public variable if you want to use it in the different function or a sub. So what I will do, I will simply cut this line, guys, and I will declare it on the top. That's it. Once you declare in the top, you see the line will be inserted. Now this means that this can be accessed from any function, any macro, right? So now the moment I write here my cell dot, you see that the moment I press dot, automatically I have got all the properties and the methods which are a part of my class called range. So this way, because you have changed the scope of your variable, you have changed it from the local to the public variable. It can be accessed anywhere. So now what is my next thing I want to do? I want to say that cells on which row, well, whatever the row I will have for this cell, so the row number, and the column would be 2 because I'm on the B column, dot value equals to Ajay, which is my function. So in this way I will go ahead and start writing the things. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's have a look. Now you have a value of this my cell which is called Ajay hyphen Parmar, right? So it's on the row number 1. So the moment I execute this function, you see that this one, and I hover my cell on this my cell dot row, I get to see 1. Why? Because this value is on the row number 1. As simple as that. So it equals to what? It equals to your function which is called Ajay, and the function value which is returned is Ajay. So there we go, Ajay. Now again it goes back to the next. What is the next value we have? Vikas hyphen Srivastav. Now the row number should come here as 2, and there we go, guys. We have the row number 2. In the row number 2, column 2, the value should look should be Vikas, and similarly it will go again to the next value which is Andy Moore. So in this way, if I keep on running this, you will have all the values. So guys, this is how we can actually use the subroutines. We can pass in the parameters from the sub to the functions. This is how you use. This is a very important concept, right? Now if you want to just, let's say, reduce this, if I make it for each my cell in range A1 to A3 and I delete this, then what will happen? This will run only from A1 to A3 and your answer would be Ajay, Vikas and Andy. So let me quickly run this and there we go. So this is how the things happen. And if you further go ahead and increase this, let's say this is what I'm going to do now. If you go ahead and run this again, see what will happen. Let me delete everything. Now we have a range called A1 to A9, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply put this A1 to A9. Let me quickly run this. So look at this, guys, this is going to work. There we go. Enter, finish, right? So it's all about this range. This is very important line. You should understand this. Okay, so in this way, guys, this is the example where we have learned that how we can pass in the parameters from one macro to the functions. If you have any questions, feel free to write your comments. Any question you have, just on below this video you have the comment section, just write it there. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I request you to subscribe to the channel so that I can go ahead and upload some more videos to give you the awesome learning. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and I will be back very soon. Thank you. Bye bye.